I'm Nicole Marie Finch. Thank you so much for tuning in to my health and mindset blog. And today I'm glad to talk about why I don't skip breakfast. Now, as with many things to talk about on here between health and mindset, things I've read and suggest about, or things that worked for me or for others, they may not work for everybody. And that's the cool thing about us. We're all different. Every single person on this planet is different. So this may or may not work for you. You may hear why I don't skip breakfast and think, good for you, but that ain't working for me. That is fine. But I just want to share for those of you out there who may be trying to work on some health goals and things like that of why breakfast is so important and I don't skip it. First of all, I love food. So if I get to wake up and have food in the morning, that's a good day. So that's one reason why I don't skip breakfast. But there are also some healthy reasons why it's important to eat breakfast. And one thing I will say about breakfast is that you should try to eat it 12 hours after you've had dinner. So if you had dinner at 7 p.m., breakfast should be no earlier than 7 a.m. That we have 12 hours of fasting because our body needs that time to fully go through the whole digestion process. And as I talked about before, about our stomach size and all that good stuff, really helps that our body can process everything and we don't get all, backed up with our stomach all stretched out over time. So try to employ that rule. And sometimes it's harder than other times. Get as close as you can, especially in the summer. I feel like, when you're eating late, I feel like when this starts to get darker outside late at night, I tend to eat earlier anyways because my body's like, oh, it's getting dark. It's time for bed soon, right? But, try to have that 12 hours of period of time before you have your breakfast. And there's 3 really great reasons why breakfast is important, especially if you have kids. Hopefully all of your children out there are eating a good, healthy, nutritious breakfast. Not waffles, ideally not some kind of like sugary, fruity cereal, but something that's actually really going to help build healthy, strong brains for our kids and get them set up on the right path. So speaking of which, that's one thing. They build brighter brains. Research has shown that those who begin the day with a healthy breakfast do better in school and at work. So you start off, begin the get-go with a good, healthy, nutritious breakfast. It also promotes a better behavior and mood. So it helps to steady the blood sugar, which after fasting all night, your blood sugar might be kind of low. So you got to make sure you're having a good, healthy, nutritious breakfast. Spray that all up there, and that will help steady the behavior and mood. That counts for all throughout the day too. But it really helps if you start on the right foot, right in the morning, whether you're going to work or going to school. It's important to start off with a good mood. Also helps to control weight. They studies show that you're actually more likely to eat healthy throughout the day if you start out with a nice, nutritious breakfast. If you skip breakfast, you're going to start to get into that hangry, low blood sugar mood, and you're going to just reach for something unhealthy. Or if you have a not so healthy breakfast and lots of sugars and stuff, you're going to have the blood sugar drop very soon and also be reaching for more of those carbs and sugars. But if you have a good, healthy breakfast, and I will share some ideas for that, you'll be, on your way, out the door, school or work, wherever you're at, ready to go and kind of even more empowered. I think the other thing too, a little bit of a mindset side, is if you have a healthy breakfast, you're feeling like, haha, I had a healthy breakfast. You're less likely to want to eat something unhealthy to, break that track, you know what I mean? So it works for me anyways. So here's some things about breakfasts. So I've mentioned this before about the cereal rule. So cereal's a tough thing. I know that it's a popular breakfast food, but it actually has a lot of sugar in it, a lot of chemicals in it, and not a lot of the nutrients that our brain needs, that our body needs to get going for the day. If you love to have your cereal, you want to know how to find one that has at least 3 grams of protein. This is a 3-6-3 rule. So at least 3 grams of protein, less than 6 grams of sugar, and at least 3 grams of fiber. So more than 3 grams of protein, less than 6 grams of sugar, more than 3 grams of fiber. You don't want to have any kind of hydrogenated oils in there. Those are basically trans fats. Our body doesn't know how to handle those. Our brain doesn't know how to handle those. Don't want any kind of artificial, no colors, no artificial sugars, none of that stuff, and no high fructose corn syrup. I think by now we know those are the bad things. So if you can find a cereal that meets those criteria, I think it's kind of difficult to do, but if you can do it, let us know. That's really, maybe an alternative could be something like oats or something like that, but you can find a cereal that maybe is close, But, you know, try to find one that fits into that, because that's going to be able to give your body what it really needs to start its day. The other thing that people have a lot, especially they give to their kids a lot in the morning, are juices. So remember that most of the juices that you buy, like apple juice, orange juice, things like that, they're just the juices. There's not always the fiber from the skin, which is why, like, if for orange juice, getting like the pulp that has some of that in there, doesn't that will help to give some of that fiber. I know I'm not a huge pulp fan, so sometimes people don't like the pulp, but actually it's healthier for you because it's going to give you some of that fiber that's going to help the sugars not just as crazy, you know, crazy high. So things like apple juice and like other grape juice and things like that, it's really just it's sugar. It's not artificial sugar per se, because it's from, assuming nothing's been added, it's from the fruit, but they don't have the fiber there, so it's a lot tougher for our body to manage. Because what the fiber does is it steadies the rate at which our body will digest the sugar. So it prevents the blood sugar from, you know, the highs and lows that I've talked about before that can cause inflammation and can cause you getting a little bit hangry, and cause all certain kinds of mood swings with that, and behavior problems, you know, in kids especially. So think about that with your kids. So just because it's a juice, it's a fruit, does not mean necessarily that it is healthy if it's just the sugars and not necessarily the fiber piece of it. So it's not the same having an apple, you know, biting into it versus having apple juice. Hopefully I know that by now, but I thought it'd be worth mentioning. Another popular breakfast item is yogurt and granola. And listen, this was my go-to for a long time. Yogurt and granola. Greek yogurt and with some strawberries and granola. And the problem is there can be a lot of sugar in the granola as well as the yogurt. And not to mention that the yogurt can sometimes be hard to process for certain people because of the dairy. Even if you're not intolerant, a lot of people have insensitivities potentially to the dairy. It can cause kind of bloating and discomfort and things like that. And I started to realize this, and I decided to try making these egg muffins. So basically I would create a bunch of scrambled eggs, and I put them into like muffin tins, and you put a little bit of cheese, a little bit of, because listen, lemon cheese, okay? I draw the line at cheese. And then I put some peppers in. This is even way before my health coaching days. I just knew something didn't feel right. So I mentioned the sugars and the dairy, so I thought, let's try something different. I saw this recipe, sounds good. So, you know, and I would basically bake it in the oven and make all these egg muffins, and then I'd have them throughout the week. So I could have them on the refrigerator, then I would take them to work and microwave them, and then have my egg muffins. That was the only change I made to my diet, as well as any kind of working out. I just changed my breakfast to a little egg muffin. I think I had 2 maybe egg muffins for breakfast instead of the yogurt and granola. And I lost 3 pounds in 1 week and felt so great, energized. And I was like, well, that's interesting, because nothing else had changed. So if you're someone who's like loving your yogurt and granola, you can try the egg muffin idea. Or if you really like, no, I gotta have my yogurt and granola, then go with plain yogurt, plain Greek yogurt preferably, and then you can sweeten up with some like fresh strawberries, fresh blueberries, like the fresh fruit there, versus the ones that have it already in there. Go with the fresh, and then you can make your own homemade granola. That's probably the best option, but if not, just make sure you look at the ingredients of the granola, so to make sure that they should probably somewhat similar to the 3-6-3 rule, so that you're not going all crazy there with the sugars, because those can have a lot of sugar in that too. So there's ways you can be creative about it. Some other healthy ideas. So the scrambled eggs and veggies, just having them scrambled, or even like an omelet is really great for breakfast. Or you can make the little muffin tins if it's easier. That way I liked that because I could make a bunch of them and keep them in the fridge, and then just take them out, microwave them. They lasted about a week. I mean, it was totally fine. And I'd microwave them and boom, like new. Banana and almond butter on like a whole wheat bread. That's a really great option. Oatmeal. You can check the ingredients of that, but making some oatmeal with maybe some berries and cinnamon, that can be a great breakfast. One thing I will say about oatmeal is that I really want to like it, but I can't seem to get over it. But if anyone has some good oatmeal recipes, let me know. I've tried a lot of different things, but I know people love oatmeal. I think it's a really great alternative, especially in the wintertime, to cereal. And then, of course, I love my protein shakes. I really do. I love to have the strawberries. There's a little bit of a smoothie. I have like with the strawberries in it, and I use chocolate protein powder, so it's like a chocolate-covered strawberry in the morning. Yeah, I add some citrus and things like that, too. It's like a little, like, little chemist in there making my morning shake. I love it because it's easy for me because I'm on the go in the morning. I got things I'm going, so I just got my smoothie that I'm carrying around with me, getting my breakfast that way, and I look forward to that. I'm someone who never thought I could ever drink food. But in any case, so those are some ideas for you. You might have others that you could share with the group. Please comment below, reply, however works for you. Would love to hear about what you might recommend and what things you found to work for you. Because again, we're all different. So these are some of the things that I know that I've heard work for others, that have worked for me, but you might have something else out there too. So please do share. And thank you so much. And remember, life is chaos, so we just have to have fun with it.